Hello and welcome to another episode. It's been like forever. I'm Zelmont, and welcome to the episode. Today, I plan on showing off just a little bit what I got here. It's not a whole lot. Some of it's kind of more or less a reiteration of what you've seen before. The thing we got right here is my barn. I built myself a nice, massive barn. Um, some of the dinos right now aren't completely in their stalls, but yeah. And I do have a little bit of final decorating still to do, especially up on the top levels. Uh, like here, I don't know. I was thinking to do something along the lines of putting some storage or whatnot here, and then up in this part, just make this kind of a cooking and living area. You know what I mean? Throw a bed up in here. But otherwise, I do actually. Come on. No. Want the. There. Oh. I hear a supply drop. Yeah. Look at that. Well, let's go check it. I mean, it's probably nothing, but some meat, crystal, some more fur gloves, long grass, and some garbage arrows. 'Cause, you reach a point where, the stone arrows themselves are essentially garbage. You know what I mean? Like, you collect them, but you also collect so many that you throw some away because but yeah, we got that, and then up here is my base. This was my little starter home. I got the Indie Forge thrown outside, mostly because I don't want to expand it another floor. We're just doing the 3 floors to fit the Dino Gate as the main door. Oh, I really need to re-download the mods for turning down the sound effects because the generator and the fabricator going in there, they're really loud. Like, they're really, really loud. But yeah, it's similar to what I've done before. You got the circle, but I'm going to turn the fabricator off for now. At least cut that noise, right? Still have the generator, but this was the original the original forge. I also got 3 on the roof because it was taking forever, right? This will be the kitchen. I am going to be adding on the industrial grill and the cooking pot here shortly. I finally just got to the point of having the fabricator and, Indie Forge. It takes a lot of resources when you first can get it, right? So yeah, my initial stuff kind of went into that. Now I'm starting the regular farm grind of getting my cement paste and getting obsidian and turning it into poly and yeah. But yeah, I still need to throw some crop plots in here. But yeah, this will be the greenhouse. Like I say, I made to do 3 other forges because it was just taking way too long with just the one. But yeah, ain't bad. Here, I think I'm gonna put here into either this floor or this floor is going to be a bunch of cryo fridges, and then whichever one isn't is going to be the library. I'm thinking this one will be the cryo fridges and the other one will be the library, and I'll stick a window or 2 in this other level once it's a library. But I'm waiting to see where everything places, because yeah. But some minor decorating, but the basics are all here and set, and for me to start getting going. But yeah, other than that, the big thing for today's episode is big things are happening. I I think I'm finally going to do it. I think I'm finally getting my own kitchen, and I'm finally going to get to do it my way. The because I've already reached out to a realtor. There was a deal on a property near where I live. It's a neighboring community, but it was going for a steal. But when I threw when I did numbers, like it was an unreasonable amount of money that I would need to come up with that I don't have. Like I'm a cook, you know, and yes, I'm at a level that I could call myself chef now, but like the truth is like there's not a lot of money in this industry. Like it is an industry of passion. But it is exactly that. I've over the year, like while it was never a career I intended, it's a job that I have by putting 2 decades into it, just grown in a true expertise in. Right? It's just it's like some of the chef memes that I see say. You know, it's being a chef changes the way you look at the world. It's not just a job. It's an out like it's not. I can't go out and I see things differently than you do when you go out to eat. I notice little things that servers are doing. I look at the kitchen and I listen for whether it's a flow or whether it's a chaos. Um, just little things. Um, and so like I have that passion, and it's one of the things that I realized about a decade ago now. It's hard to say. It's feels a little hard to say that, but it's probably been about a decade now. You blink and the years start going by. My eldest is graduating this week. After I get done this video, I'm actually going to be driving her over to so she can help set up for the grad ceremony in a couple days. But yeah, it's about a decade ago. I realized that if I was at a point where if I really wanted to make more money, I had to do it for myself. Um, it's just I've kind of topped out where I'm at. Otherwise, well, there is one other way I can make more money in without switching careers, and that would be if I was willing to move to a city. Urban areas, I could get more money. Urban areas, I could probably get another $5 an hour. Like it would probably be about that much. Well, it'd be $5 to $10 an hour actually, but I would probably get closer to the $5. Right? I don't. I'm good, and I know I'm good, but I also don't. I'm also not one of those egomaniac chefs who overestimates their abilities either. I'm big for not overselling myself. Right? Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to and this location. It's gonna. It's somewhere I've worked before under other companies, and the location itself actually is like, if I'm honest, the location itself is actually a bad location. Um, but the whole plan of it is that I'm using that and the fact that I know the location, like I've actually worked there under 2 different companies in recent history to negotiate down a deal that I can make money at. And part of the deal that I'm willing to make even would be the lease price can go up as business goes up. You know what I mean? Like if as I'm able to afford it, I have no problem. Like what the place is asking for right now is ridiculous. The place is not worth it. There's no way I would ever do it as it stands now. But if what I want to do works, then it once you build it up, it would be worth that. Not a problem. But that's part of the problem is a reputation problem, and that's where it's yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is a new adventure. I'm really gonna throw my all into this. But without burning myself out. I'm the way the way I'm looking to set this up is initially it's just going to be me and one other person and a couple people to cover our days off. You know what I mean? Like that's it. It's just a one shift kind of place, and well, and even there, I might just be one other person. I might, because part of the location is there's an obligation to cook breakfast for hotel guests, and so in that, like, that's 7 days a week, right? But in all actuality, like I don't think I need to be open. I don't think my business needs to be open 7 days a week. I think I'd be fine five. And if mine's five, well then okay, well then I don't really need anybody. I'd hire one part-time person to just work the weekend or whatever. Well, I think it would probably be the Sunday, Monday mornings would probably be the days I take off. For two reasons. The one reason, which once upon a time would have been the main reason for me, is just those are traditionally your slowest days of the week. Monday night can pick up, but as far as a morning, as far as a day, Monday is slow. Traditionally, everywhere. Traditionally is slow. Because even it is. You would think that, well, Monday morning, a lot of your breakfast places, especially like your McDonald's and your Tim Hortons, they'd probably be just stopping Monday. It's like, well, don't get me wrong, they do have the regular business for sure, but if you compare it to Tuesday, Tuesday probably has more. Because not everybody goes to work on Monday. You know, that's a meme. That's not reality. That's not the way the real world works anymore. A lot of people do, but not everybody, right? Plus, some people are trying to do better. They're getting their own coffee that day. Whatever. The Monday is not as busy of a weekday as the rest of the weekdays are. It's not traditionally. Like I say, you'll always find exceptions to any rule, but that's just the way it is. And Sundays too is typically a dead day, unless the only time Sundays are busy is if you do Sunday brunches, and then Sunday brunches can be busy. But then the other reason is my newfound faith. I would actually really like to start taking Sundays off and start going to church. Feels very strange saying that openly, because for 30 years of my 40, I was a strong atheist. Like, I was your very vocal atheist. And even still, like, I'll defend certain atheist principles against religious people, but I did find myself in the later end. I'd start defending religious people from overstatements from atheists, right? The whole it's leap of faith. Look, the leap of faith goes either way. You're picking a side. Like, there's only are there gods or are there not? You know what I mean? Like, you're still picking no matter which way you're picking, right? So, like, it's a leap of faith either way. And atheists like to pretend like they're the ones, like, they have a moral high ground in that they're not the ones choosing. Like, they're not choosing. Well, no, you are. You're running off of the idea, the concept that there isn't any. So, like, you got to be honest there. But there's also times that, there's been some times that I'll listen to Ben Shapiro, and Ben Shapiro is one of those religious people who does not comprehend the rationale for those who are not religious, right? Me, I don't know. Me, it was obvious. I was raised in that new age mysticism. Like, that's really what it. Don't get me wrong. There was some Catholicism light thrown into it, I like to call it, because, like, an overbroading idea of there is a God in the Bible and Jesus was real, and Jesus was a real person, although as far as the miracles concerned, it's a myth at this point, and who knows. It really, like, it doesn't hold any more. I was conditioned to, how to phrase this, feel as though the Jesus claims, like, yes, Jesus was a real person, but the Jesus claims were in that same category as your, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round, right? Like, there's some there, but most of that is probably myth and BS. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna. Part of the concept for this thing is it's all about me. I'm really bringing everything that's me into this. Like, to be honest, like, this is me. Part of it is going to be an arcade and a tie into gaming culture, which was what I tried to do at the last location that I partnered with. But my partner just completely fucking ignored me and then tried to pretend like he wasn't ignoring me. I was so glad that he broke our contract. Which, speaking of which, I need to reach out to him because he still owes me money. And I've been being nice because I genuinely wanted to help the guy. Like, genuinely. That was always my intention, was to help him. I thought it was a deal of, like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I get to, I get to do what I wanted, what I've always wanted to do, and you get to have your business be successful off the back of it. Right? But the main thing that we needed to do to really get things going was the arcade. I handed him the money to do that, and then he just burned it in his debt. That's literally exactly what happened to my money. And that was not the intention for my money. Now, when I was looking over the contract after the fact of, like, when I was trying to deal with the guy, because, like, all of this initially started in good faith. Like, I thought in good faith that we were going to come, like, I thought it was just a temporary thing. Like, he needed that money to just keep us going for a little bit, but he has more money coming, and we're going to get more money in a couple months and be able to do this. But as time progressed on, it became obvious that no, that was not the case. He had never had any intention of ever going that route. He really had it in his head that my menu alone was what was going to save his business. And it's like, well, no, you need to bring people in the doors to sell them product. If nobody's coming through those doors to eat the food, it doesn't matter the food. We need to get them in the doors first. And yeah, an arcade is, because that's one of the things around here. Anytime somebody asks on one of the rant and raves or community social media groups of, like, what's a business? A common thread is an arcade and or bowling alley. Now, bowling alley is out of the question due to regulations and everything these days. Like, it is insanely expensive to build a bowling alley. So to do a bowling alley for a rural community these days, you can't do it. Now, if you already had it from 50 years ago, when it was affordable, when we weren't overly regulated into the fucking ground by a constantly overreaching federal government, you can maintain, but yeah, to put the initial investment in nowadays to build, like, you'll never recover your money. Like, you won't. It will cost you far more money than you can ever possibly hope to recover. But an arcade, and an arcade too, arcades by themselves these days no longer generate the revenue to make them a viable business by themselves. They're just not. And anytime somebody raises up the arcade thing, I am one of the vocal people who does retort back exactly that. I'm like, look, like, I'm a gamer. I would love a local arcade probably more than anyone else in town. When we did, before our bowling alley sold and then burned down, which like I say, the bowling alley had already shut down. It would have been converted into a training center for one of the local teams. I think it was a hockey team, but maybe football. But I think it was hockey. But either way, the before that they used to have like just a little pocket arcade in the bowling alley, and me and my friends used to go there regularly because yeah, we're we were those guys. So yeah, like I say, this is going to be me, and part of me, I'm putting that pocket arcade. That's the first thing. The first thing, because like I say, like this location I'm looking at too is like that other one in that it has destroyed the location. The people in charge of the location have destroyed the location's reputation with locals. So, like, that means that you need a draw-in and you need to build reputation up. So that means, like I say, yeah, I need the draw-in, so I'm putting the arcade in as a draw-in. But then it's also, you need to build the reputation, which is key. And how do you do that? Just keep standards. It's really all that is. And that's where this is going to work. Because, like I say, initially it's going to start off small. So it's going to be literally off of my own back. There'll be me and a server that I've worked with for many years and who has probably double my years in the industry. So she's going to do my front of house, and as we grow, she's going to run my front of house, and I'm going to run back of house. As far as the accounting and money stuff, I'm probably going to handle that too. But I mean, that makes sense anyways, because most of the expenses, like when you're doing an ordering for an establishment like this, most of the stuff is that you're going to be getting in week out is for the kitchen, right? Obviously. So, yeah, it makes sense, right? The front of house will do their transactions and do their cash outs. But like I say, the final accounting I'll probably take charge of, and I have no problem with. While I might not be an accountant or anything of that nature, especially by trade, I am really good with math. I do have that logical autistic mind, right? So, yeah. And as business, like, if I'm too busy to handle, like, I expect initially to be slammed. But I expect it to slack off after about 2 to 3 weeks. At which point I'll find out what the real regular business is going to look like for the next few months. But like I say, the deal about it is that you need to keep the standards up. You can't let standards drop. And by doing by having it, especially starting just me and me and the server, you get the leniency of, hey, it's just me and him. It's just me and him. It's just me and him, right? A good server, which I'll be having. That's why I'm working with her. Is like, I know she's good. I know she knows what she's doing. She's not quite as assertive as she would need to be to truly be a manager per se, but she does know what she's doing, and she does, like, you know what I mean? If she's given the proper backup by a manager, she can train and just fine. But she needs to have that backup because she herself does have she's a bit of a people pleaser in that way, and will kind of fold for a little bit. But yeah, I have no problem being the manager type. And for me, it's the big deal there is just to be straight about it, straight out of the gate. You know what I mean? Don't fuck around. When there's an issue, address it as soon as appropriate. And I say that for a reason. Because it's not necessarily just as soon as it happens, because you don't want to belittle a person right in the middle of right in front of customers, and you don't want to say in the kitchen, go after a cook while they're in the middle of a rush, right? Like they're focused, but the moment things have calmed down and you can take that second to go in the back, address it immediately. And set expectations. Like when I do start hiring people, one of the things that I know I'm doing is I'm not messing around. Either you're doing the job or you're not. And if you're not, there's a door, and like I'm not wasting time. One of the problems that I see in a lot of these places that I've worked is that they continually they won't just deal with these problem people until it's too late, because we needed somebody. No, it's better to have nobody and have a rocking core than it is to allow some rot into your system. But yeah, I really think that this is it. I really think this can really work. You know, I hope I'm not just puffing myself up. Like, I hope I'm not, but I don't think so. I think, like I say, for the big part there is I need I need to get a realistic deal. And I think I can. And if I can't, well, then I'm walking and I'm just telling the realtor that we're going to continue looking for another spot. Because the big thing is I want to start small. Now, this location would have the growth potential that I'm wanting down the road, and I'd be able to naturally grow. You know what I mean? Well, you probably don't. But yeah, I'd be able to naturally grow, whereas if I just find a smaller location to start, then how that's going to work is in like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, I would be closing down, and well, I'd be looking for another location with more space and moving, right? Whereas this location, there would be no moving. I would just extend my hours, and once my hours extend into the evenings, I'd have a bar. You know, so like it has yeah. I really see it working as long as I can get that good initial deal, which I think I can. Here, let me. Wouldn't it be funny if my mic had been off this whole time? I didn't even look. I just looked now. It's like, yeah, no, it is on. I've done that before. That's why I say, wouldn't it be funny? Because, yeah, I've done that before. When I was doing videos regularly. These days, yeah, I don't do it regularly. Although, more good news. Fiber optic is finally coming to my area. I don't know when they're going to be done, but, like, it's looking like they should be done soon, actually. I could have fiber optic internet in like the next couple weeks, right? At which point I get to start doing the streaming thing. Anytime I play, I'll be streaming. Although I do need to take my PlayStation in somewhere here and get it cleaned out. Starting to have an issue of overheating, especially with this game. Most other games I don't really have an issue, but this game, some of the effects, especially the sky effects. And the clouds, like when you start going in the mountains and you start looking at the water and you see, yeah, it likes to overheat my PlayStation. So I really want to get my PlayStation cleaned out so that I can, not have to worry about that for obvious reasons. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think this is probably as a super long video, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Another adventure, and where I really get to bring everything I am to bear on it. You know what I mean? All of the skills, all of the visions, all of the pain and anguish and years, all of my hobbies, and it all gets to come together into one beautiful venture that I hope to build into a legacy. If I'm honest. I mean, that might be a little over dramatic, but yeah. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, please give a like and subscribe for more content. And comment. Let me know if you want to hear more updates about my restaurant. Right now, I'm going to kind of keep the name to my chest. I might have mentioned it in other videos. I don't know if I have or not, because, like I say, the idea in and of itself has been rolling around for a few years now. But now it's starting to coalesce into a real form, right? Because like, yeah. Anyways, if you want to hear more, let me know. I could definitely talk more. But until then, see you later.